I'm going to share with you guys my third eye awakening experience. Some people are like, oh, that's demonic. Some people are like, love spirituality. Me personally, I think I'm right in the middle. It depends on your attention. It depends on if you have God in your heart, then your mind, your soul, and your spirit is good. If you fear everything, like a lot of religions are, you don't have God. And if you just let everything happen, don't believe there's no demonic or anything, you definitely don't have God either. So I think I don't even know. I like to say I'm in the middle because I feel it makes me feel like I'm lukewarm, and I don't like to be lukewarm either. But I'm gonna share with you guys my before my third eye awakening. Like, it wasn't just like one day my third eye awakened and I was like, ha ha ha, I know everything. But there was like a huge event that happened, and then I'm gonna share like some wisdom. So I'm gonna share like the process, the huge event, and then like some wisdom. So if you guys are interested in this video, then just keep on watching. If you are new here, my name is Smiley, and welcome to my life. So first, I just want to talk about like the wisdom I gained intuitively through research. This is when my mind was like before I went through the huge event that's like my third eye awakening. I was just researching a lot and like getting downloads when I read certain things, like, and then I would just know how certain things work and know things that I didn't even know that I didn't even actually research. I'm just like, how do I know that? So stuff like that does happen. Past lives do exist. Akashic records do exist. It's not demonic. Of course, everything can be demonic if you use it in a certain way. But yeah, so I can't remember anything else I wanted to say for that point. But yeah, I just I just kept gaining wisdom in certain things that I didn't have before. Again, some things I researched and some things I just wouldn't know. And like the more my mind awoke in and the more I gained more spiritual growth, I wasn't afraid to like jump out of the box that I grew up in the religion, the Christian religion I grew up in. That's when my mind started to awaken and I started to feel more enlightened. Like my mind was just gonna explode a lot. Like that's just what I always was feeling. Like my mind was just exploding. Like that's what it feels. Okay. And then this is like a 4-step video. So that's the first step, the first point. And then the second one I have is signs and symptoms. So the signs and symptoms of my third eye awakening experience, which also is like part of like a Kundalini awakening experience. Um, Whenever I would get confirmations or signs, I've always had like something happen in the outside world physically to show me that something was happening intuitive in the inside spiritually. And so a lot of ways that my signs would show out and show itself would be I would get a cough, I would get a strong like clench in my throat, like I wouldn't be able to talk like or like I would like just like a burn, or I would get a huge headache, or I would sneeze. I wasn't sneezing all day, and all of a sudden I have a thought. I'm like, achoo, achoo. Fine, right? Tremors in my hands. Um, Also, that's like my body signs. Um, and then also, I will also get like signs with animals. Like some signs, like animals will come up to me, or I would think something, and a certain bird that I've never seen before, like it would fly right past me, like slow. Like usually they just like glide down, but it would just be like slow, or it would be like multiple birds flying in a certain way that I never seen birds fly, and it would be right in front of me, and then like right after I had that thought. It's crazy. Something like that happened in my first time in my going to the spiritual room video. which I am gonna post soon, so stay tuned for that. Um, but yeah, so signs with animals, like just seeing a lot of them out of nowhere, or yeah, or like I would think something and then a bird will, or a crow will caw, or like a bird would chirp. I'll be like, and I'll just be like, oh, that's a sign. Or the sun will come out right away, and it's been a cloudy day, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about something, and somehow the sun decides to come out of a sky full of clouds where there ain't no spaces for the sun to come out. That's just the signs that I was getting before I went through the event. Now, this is the event. This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy. Okay, so prepare yourself. We about to get into it. So one day I was sitting on my couch, this couch right here, not this one, but the one behind this, and I don't even know what I was thinking about, but I was having that time where I just felt like my mind was just exploding, and I had like a lot of pressure around my like third eye, like a lot of pressure, and I was just like, usually when that happens, I know to like breathe or whatever. And by now, there's always been a lot of signs. Oh, one of the other signs I used to get was like sound. Sound blew up. That's one way you know your third eye awakening experience is happening, or your like elevating conscious is like my ears. Like not only would I get ringing, is what they say what happens when angels are around too. Like it, like my sounds, like everything was just sounding like so loud. And that's before I started to actually like, around the time my ears started to change and do stuff like that. Like it'd be like regular sounds that I was hearing before. Anytime my mind starts to do stuff like, or my ears start to do stuff like that, or I get like a brain in my ears or something, it's usually either a sign, or sometimes I would hear a little voice. Oh, it's demons. Ah, no, it's not demons. Okay, there are demons that can talk to you too, but again, you gotta have the spirit of discernment. Okay, and then whenever I hear little things, it'd be like, and I had to like really tune in, and I haven't heard that much lately. Anytime it would happen, it would be like if I'm listening to like a music frequency or something. Like I'll be listening to radio and then okay. I just so weird. I just thought about that. I haven't really heard about that. I haven't really heard it that much lately. It just, like I said, with spiritual things, it just happens out of nowhere. Like right when you think it's done, then you'll just hear it's something. It's something. Or you'll like something will happen. Or something like big will happen right when you think it's done. And that's one thing that's been happening, especially since my third eye awakening experience. That's how it's be. Like right, you'll be chilling for a little while, and then boom, something happens, and you're just like, whoa, okay, all right, I'm still gifted. Okay, woo. Okay, had a call Uber. But anyway, so back to the story. I was sitting on my couch one day, and I was having that huge pressure in my mind, like in my third eye area, and I like sat down, and okay, my Uber's coming in 8 minutes, so it just gave me a driver. Okay, that's perfect timing because I'm almost done. So after I sat down, I don't even know how long after it was. Like I said, sometimes there be things that be happening around me whenever I get into a zone and like there's this huge spiritual thing happening. I'm more in the spirit than I am in the physical. So I'm not really thinking. I'm not really thinking with my human mind. Like, oh, let me breathe, let me sit, let me. That's what you need. I be trying to work on. Someone calling me. There must be a presence that do not want me to get this video out. But we gonna get it out, honey. We don't gonna get it out. Because people need to stop being afraid of spiritual stuff. People be stuck. People be stuck in the reading the books, but you know how fast words can change. I'm gonna show you this video of Mark the Messenger, who is Christian, who posted this video about how words be manipulated to change in the Bible.
Look at Ephesians 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right, so that's the King James. Now look what it says in the Geneva Bible.
They're removing verses from the Bible, guys.
This is before the King James. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against the worldly governors, the princes of darkness of this world. And notice how it didn't use against again, which means the worldly governors are the princes of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness, which are in the high places. So not only are we in a spiritual battle, we're also being attacked by the worldly governors, the princes of darkness.
Reptilians. Many books have been removed from the Bible. The Apocrypha, the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jasper. Do your research.
You can just easily change it. It's not that hard to and people believe more in words of the Bible than they do, I feel a presence. Than they do their own intuition. Ain't nothing gonna stop me. I feel a strong presence. I'm gonna pray. Amen. Okay. I just said, if it's not a presence from you, then please remove it. That's if you can't feel what it is, because sometimes power feels like, why is this mean it's finding me a driver when it just found me a driver on you? Hold on. So I'm editing my Third Eye Awakening video, and I realized that I never came back to this point. So what I was gonna say is people have to realize angels are powerful beings as well. And of course, everybody knows God. I was going to say God is powerful, but people know God is powerful. But God and angels are powerful beings, right? God is not a singular being. But anyways, so people have to realize that one thing I can't even talk. One thing I learned through my spirituality, through my spiritual journey, is that sometimes when when there's a presence around me and like that feeling, and I start to feel fearful, sometimes I had to realize I had to pull myself out of that fear. One, because of course you're not supposed to be fearful, like demons saying you are supposed to know you have God. But two, because sometimes I had to be like, am I feeling fear right now? Or is it is it fear like a demonic energy is around me? Or is it just fear because I don't know the presence? And then I realized it was more fear because I didn't know the presence was sometimes. You know what I'm saying? This is not stuff that happens every single day, all day, you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like when presences come around, I feel presence a lot. But I'm not the average person. Most people don't feel like spiritual presence a lot, and I still don't feel it every day. So when it comes, it's just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And of course, for people who don't even feel it as much as I do, they're not even on that, it's gonna feel, of course, it's gonna be fearful for you. People are naive if you just think every time you feel something from God, it's gonna feel like love and rainbows and cupcakes because it's God. Yay! No. No. Let me tell you. No, it doesn't always feel like that. That's why you have to have a spirit of discernment. You wouldn't need a damn spirit of discernment. This is why churches get on my nerves, because everything is demonic. But you wouldn't need a spirit of discernment if every time you felt God and angels and seen God and angels, you felt peace and love and happiness and cupcakes and rainbows. Cookies and cupcakes. Sweet treats, Jolly Ranchers. you wouldn't need discernment. And then every time you felt something evil, it was just like, oh my gosh, bad, bad. That wouldn't be that big of a deal for people to figure out if it's good or bad. It would be so hard for the devil to trick you. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know some people don't even have like a gift to even like discern, but like, no, you gotta understand, angels and demons are alike. The only thing is they chose different routes for their life. You know what I'm saying? But they're on the same level. One thing that I will repeat over and over again on my channel is that nowhere in the Bible, so I forget where I heard this from, but that I looked it up, and then I was like, this is actually true. Like, what? Nowhere in the Bible does it say that Lucifer was the strongest angel. Nowhere does it. It was his favorite angel. He had high rankings in heaven and all of that, but it never said that he had more power than everybody, every single other angel that existed. Nowhere does it say that. Oh my gosh. Another interruption. I literally haven't got a call in like an hour. Hey guys, it's the next day. I'm telling you, they don't want me to get these videos out. They don't want me. I'm gonna get this video out. Okay, I'm gonna get this. Woo! Like literally, this video was recorded when I was talking about my third eye awakening. I think it was 2024. No, it was 2024 for sure. And now we're in the end of May, like 2 days from June, 2025. They don't want me to get this video out, yeah. But anyways, so what I was saying is, people have to think about, nowhere in the Bible it says about him being high ranking, the Lucifer being high ranking. It says about him being a favorite, but nowhere does it say that he had more power, like actual power, like, you know what I mean? I don't mean like power like government power, like governing power, like I think he might have had that kind of power, but I'm still not sure about that. But nowhere does it say that he had more like spiritual gifts power than the other angels. Nowhere does it say that. It just says he was God's favorite and he had a high ranking, but it doesn't say he had the most spiritual power than every other angel out there. Never does it say that. You can assume that. We assume that based off what we're giving, but it never actually says that. So that's not even a for sure fact, you know? Oh my God, it's starting to rain. Why did distractions, Lord? But anyways, so people are always worried about like Lucifer. But if you really believe that he was cast down and chained up, I don't understand why people don't talk. They always chop everything bad to Lucifer and never God, which is a problem, because God can teach you lessons and give you consequences as well. But two, what about all those other demons? A whole third of heaven fell with him. A whole third. That just reminded. I literally just had the thought in my head. God must have put in my head that I was just thinking like, dang, like they lost a lot of, like the same way he can create more demons. I be having like a hard time, but like figuring out how, like what he's good with or what he can do, because they say the devil can't create, but he can create demons. So how are you creating demons? I get it, like, you know what I'm saying, you can make somebody go evil, and you could probably give them evil gifts, so I guess that is creating a demon, huh? But anyways, what I'm saying is, all those demons that fell down, right? All those demons that fell with him, he's one being, right? A third of all heaven fell with him. A whole third. Do you know how much that is? That's more than half. A whole third of heaven fell with him. Of heaven fell with him. And no one ever thinks about, unless if you're like deep into spirituality and demons and you're trying to look at like, you know, the higher up demons, but most churches and most people never talk about and think about, they never talk about his equally powered friends that was a third of heaven that fell with him. They never talk about it. They never talk about it. Like, they are and like I said, most people believe that Lucifer is chained up because he's the main highest person, high-ranking person, and he was the one that chose everything, so he gets the worst punishment, right? So everybody believes Lucifer is chained up, but not everybody believes the minions, his equally powered minions, are chained up. That means they right here, the same angels, because they're angels, they're just fallen angels, they're demons. The same equally powered demon as Lucifer himself is free and roaming the earth. And I mean, we can see it. We can definitely see it. Do you see what the industry is? Uh-oh. It's starting to rain more and more. It felt good out here too. I'm gonna stay right here though. It ain't reaching me yet. So people need to realize that, okay? So, to bring it back to why I'm bringing that up, when you feel a presence, how powerful do you think, like, when God is also, as we know, I have to say, like, stuff people know, so I can, like, go to the deeper points. People know that God is not just a God of love. He's a God of, like, righteousness and justice, and he's the mighty God. You know, he's a powerful God. He ain't just a God of love, right? Even though that I think that's his main purpose, is to love and give us love and show us love and have us, so we show love for others and the earth and all that. But God also has to. They had a war. They didn't. When they had that war with Lucifer got cast down with all his angels. Yeah, that was a war, like a war. And I be really wondering sometimes. I really wonder, like, how do they have wars? How is there a war? Like, do they die? If they die, wouldn't they just turn into angels? Hey.
Sorry to interrupt you. Are you closing?
Sorry, y'all. I'm closing my store. But I'm chilling. I'm the only one here, and ain't nobody. I keep going back and forth to make sure there ain't nobody calling or ain't getting no leads or anything. But right now, we chilling. So, anyways, I think I was talking about, so I don't know how they really die, if they have war or anything like that. Like, I don't know like, how could they win? Because they already dead. But they're not dead. Do they lose their spiritual power? Because I believe that Satan or Lucifer lost certain powers that he had before. After he betrayed God. But God left him with some powers. Which is still confusing to me, because he uses those powers just to destroy us. Like, why would God leave him with powers to destroy us? But that's not even another question for another day, because I don't know, we're gonna have to ask God that one. But so think about that, the powerful beings, right? So Michael is a warrior, right? He's like the warrior angel, the leader of the God's army, warrior angel, right? So if you feel Michael in your home, do you think he's going to come with rainbows and peaches and love? If Archangel Michael is in your home, he's not a messenger. That's Gabriel. You know what I'm saying? He's not a messenger angel. He might be able to tell you something, but he ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's not his job. It's not his ranking. It's not what he's here for. It's to be a messenger going back and forth. That's Gabriel, right? And those who work for Gabriel. So if it's Michael or Michael's, the ones that work underneath Michael, if you feel his presence, I don't think he's gonna feel like Jolly Ranchers and rainbows. If you feel Archangel Michael's presence in your home, it's probably because he's there to destroy whatever presence is around you that ain't supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't coming in no light-hearted, friendly, deep. He's coming here to take the business, to put some business down on it, okay? And that's the reason why I say you can't believe everything you hear, because in church, what I grew up believing and learning is, not believing, what I grew up, like, what they taught me to believe, and what I grew up learning is the way you can tell if it's from God is if you're afraid, and you know what I'm saying? And if it's from God, then you will feel at peace when God's around or the angels are around. But I grew up, and through my own experiences of life, I realized that's not really 100% true. Because everything isn't always peaches and rainbows. Maybe if you're like depressed and suicidal or something like that, I gotta be careful saying those words on YouTube, but maybe, like, you know what I'm saying, you might have like a feeling of a spirit come to you with love, God come to you with love, or a spirit or angel of love come to you. But most of the time we in spiritual war. Most of the time, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this rain is picking up. Okay. But yeah, most of the time we're in spiritual war. So they think about, if anybody has ever gotten into a fight before, think about if you would have won that fight, if you was not taking it that seriously, you was just laughing like the fight wasn't even happening, just like, oh, everything's great. You know what I'm saying? Would you have won that fight? No, you wouldn't. You gotta come in the energy ready for war. Michael has to come in the energy ready for war. You don't know what angels feel like, so you can't be afraid just because you feel a presence. You see what I'm saying? Of course, if you feel, you can tell right away that shit evil. Because there's sometimes I feel that presence too, where I'm like, oh, that shit evil. But then there's sometimes where it just feels like a strong presence. That's why in that video that I'm editing, I know I already heard myself saying, I feel a strong presence. Because sometimes I had to realize some strong presences feel like presences. Is presences a word? But they feel like since you're afraid, you think, oh, I'm fearing this is the devil, this is demons. But sometimes it's just you being afraid. You putting that own fear in your body. The whole time it's just because you're not used to being around high vibration, that high of a vibration to be around an angel. Used to being around other deities. Not saying that angel is good. It could be a demon. But remember, demons are still angels. They're still powerful deities, beings, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you guys just need to discern the difference between fear and power is what I'm trying to get to this point. And I'm explaining it a little bit, but it's still not getting 100% like how exactly I want to explain it. But I need to upload this video, so I'm in there, and I'm gonna go back to the old me. So yeah. Scratch that, I'm back. How can you, what I'm trying to get at, I guess, is like, you gotta have, I hate that people have more fear than they have God. You're gonna fear because you feel anything that's spiritual that they don't understand. Oh, it's the demon. Oh, it's the devil. I don't need to understand it because this verse says this, even though verses have been manipulated and translated throughout the years, and this feels like, you know what I'm saying? How you believe in a piece of paper that I can print out a Bible right now and give it to somebody, have all my whole words, you know what I'm saying? This is not 1515 beat AD, you know what I'm saying? We are in 2025. Anybody can print out a Bible and change the words. Ain't nobody gonna get killed for that, you know what I'm saying? But what I do want y'all to look up, and y'all need to pay attention, because I'm gonna keep mentioning his name, because remember his name, William Tyndall. He got killed. Okay, see, again, I gotta watch the words on YouTube. William Tyndall, he got offed for translating the words of the Bible from, I think it was from Latin to English, or Greek to English, or Greek to Latin. I think he was doing that. No, or it was something like that. But either way, he got killed. And if you look into that story, because that's the story I looked into when I was in Hawaii, I was like, this is definitely, some of my intuition ain't telling me this is right. I really, if you look more and more into it and actually do your research on who he is and what he was translating and what he believed, and then how all of a sudden he just ended up getting killed for a heresy, for a king that didn't even really believe in God like that. Girl, he was one of the main translators that translated the Bible from the old words to the new back then. Now it's old, but and he got killed for doing it because he didn't want to put the king's words the way he wanted it in the Bible. He translated it and put it exactly the way it was meant to be. He got killed for it. This is way back when, way before even telephones. You know what I'm saying? If they was doing all that back then, how easy is it to manipulate and distract and change shit now? How easy is it? Do you understand? From then, not just now, but from then until now, you don't think they ever did? If they killed him for that, you don't think they never had? They killed the roadblock. Do you understand? They killed the roadblock that was actually trying to translate it to the right words. They killed the roadblock. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to stop saying kill because YouTube. They off the robot. What the fuck? Why am I saying robot? See, now I lost my train of thought. There go them demons again. But anyways, y'all need to wake up and realize people is just gonna feed you bullshit. People just gonna feed you what you gonna want to believe. You're like, oh, if you go to church and you put this in, most church people are the Antichrist. That's another story for another day, but people are so afraid of themselves and spirituality so much. I realize that they're the Antichrist. How can you believe and swear Jesus is God, but is your God, but you can't even follow Jesus? You're supposed to be Christian, Christ-like, and you can't even feel it. You can't even be like Jesus. Because why? Because Jesus died for himself. Because he was a man who died for himself, who had the divine connection with God. I had to do a whole video on my belief in Jesus as God, because I don't believe in Jesus as God, but I believe in him as like the next thing almost. No, but like I do believe him still as the way, the truth, the light, like most Christians do with the way, the truth, and light, but they believe him as God as well most of the time. How you gonna be Christian and you can't even be like Jesus? Jesus made his own way. He believed in God and still said something is wrong with this world. Look at the mark in the message. What the fuck is happening to my? We're back. Look at Mark. Watch that Mark the Messenger video again. Rewind it. Rewind this video to that, because I'm not posting it again in here. Rewind it to that. That exact passage is another reason why I saved that video to repost. Demonic, worldly governors. That's what we're dealing with. The reptilians. That's what we're dealing with. Them snakes trying to get us to eat those fruits. That's what we're dealing with. Do you really believe? People are just naive. Do you really believe the same governors, the same industry that won't even let us talk about the Lovid? I gotta say Lovid because you can't say the real word for some reason. You can't say what's really affecting society. You think those same people who won't even let you say that, they just are so free with you, like exploring your religion, and you think everything's okay? The religion that could destroy them, the religion that preaches against some stuff in the government. Why do you guys think that they let all these churches just be? Why? Come on now. Come on now. It's because you are no threat to them. And if you are no threat, what are you actually doing with your life and your spirituality? How can you not be a threat and be preaching the truth? Because the truth of God and the truth of life brings you out of society, brings you out of material gain, and it brings you into everything that doesn't benefit the world, but benefits the mind, the heart, the soul, the spirit, right? Why do you think they let so many churches be around? Because y'all not preaching, y'all not getting to the point. You think you're getting to the point. I can't stand people who think that, like, when you read the Bible, that's the point. Oh, that's one thing I hear my uncle say in church a lot. If you don't get it from the Bible, I'm like, where does that say? Where does this say in the Bible? I don't need the Bible to back up anything that I'm saying. Because I know what I'm saying is true. And you can use the verses of the Bible to try to argue me all you want to. I'm not going to listen to shit you got to say. Because one, yes, the Bible has wonderful verses. I don't think everything is, I'm not discrediting the Bible fully. Yes, I think it's been manipulated and translated throughout the years, yes. But I don't think every single thing in the Bible is, like, false. Or else I wouldn't even do it on my channel. You know what I'm saying? But, people just got to wake up. Stop relying on pages that can be translated and just printed a different way. I can literally download the Bible right now on just regular Google Word or Microsoft Word and change the words and print it out. And go to like a more higher up place online and literally get a hardcover and print it out. Sell 20,000 copies of it. That is so easy for me to do that. I can do that right now. Right now. Stop believing in pages more than you believing in yourself. And people also need to understand, just because certain things are not for you, or you don't feel like connected to it, or you don't feel like you want to do it or should be around it, doesn't mean that it's demonic and not for everybody else. People gotta stop acting like we're all supposed to act the same. Like, I can't be of God, you can't be of God if we're not in the same category, living the same exact life. That's something else I don't believe. I believe certain things should be true. Like, you should have a God before anything else. With, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody that's really a true believer, really doing God's work, should all have that. Like, you should always have God first, above work, above anybody else, above church, above anything else. You should have God first, above the book of the Bible, or any books, spiritual books. You should have God first. I think that's a commonality. But if all of our, like, rules and regulations are the same, that's stupid. Because we're not all the same beings meant to do the same stuff. So that's why I'm supposed to go through a whole bunch of different spiritual stuff that people are like, what? I don't want to go do that. Or what? That's demonic. So I can tell y'all and I can show y'all what is really happening right now. Because I know myself. I ain't no demonic being. And I know God loves me. I know I'm not perfect. I know I've messed up. And I've probably failed him over and over and over again. But he forgives me. And that's why I have to forgive others. But I know I'm meant to teach God's word. Look, rewatch my testimony video if you haven't watched it yet. You need to watch it's in my All About God playlist, which is what this one is going to be in as well. Wait, what is this talking about? My spiritual awakening? No, it's not going to be in this one. This video is not going to be there. This video is going to be all about, I don't even know what playlist I'm about to put this in. It's going to be in a playlist though. I'll show you that. Oh no, I think this might be in my spiritual encounters because of what I'm about to say in the rest of this video. But yes, just stop being so afraid, guys. Fear does not equal God. You can fear God, but when you fear everything else, everything that has to do with spirituality, then you don't have God. You know what I'm saying? The more time I realized in my life, when I'm more fearful of, like, spiritual stuff, is when something isn't right inside my soul. That just reminded me, I just seen, like, a vision of, like, you know, The Chosen. If you watch The Chosen, I don't know if it's like, it wasn't like the first few seasons. I don't know if it's like the very first season or the second or third, but I know it was like in the beginning season when Little James, no, Simon, that's his name, Simon. What's the name? I forgot what his name. What the is not Israelite. Oh my gosh, I forgot. But he was like a rebel against the people he was around. When Mary and all them, when he was first being initiated into the disciples, a demon came to the disciples, and I think it was Mary or Philip. No, not Philip. It was Mary or one of the disciples were trying to like be strong and be like, "Get away from me," 'cause you know what I'm saying. You can say the words, and the demon just laughed at her, and then attacked her, and then attacked her like I okay, right. So people can be afraid of spirituality. Like I said, if you have, because that, and I really believe, after from my own experience, I believe the reason why that kind of stuff was possible, because I do believe that whole encounter really did happen in real life. I believe why that kind of stuff is possible is because you have fear of the spirit in your heart. If you fear demons, you don't have enough God. When I was in Hawaii, I didn't even fear demons. And that's why they kept coming for me, even stronger. But guess what? My goodness and my spirituality and my spiritual growth came on even stronger there too. It was just a spiritual where I had more visions than I used to have visions every month, every week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like dreams. My dreams was very vivid, lucid dreaming. Man. And I was sober, like, man. So, and then when I start to fear, when I start to live my life, when I start to be unaligned with my path, is when I notice I'm more fearful, and I feel like all the lessons I'm teaching you in this video, the stuff I'm saying is like not as in my head. So then I'm like, my experiences and encounters, I'm always so afraid and da-da-da-da. So if you feel yourself afraid of spirituality, you need to really reevaluate yourself. Because again, not everything's for everybody. So if you feel like something is not for you, it probably ain't. But don't judge everything just out of fear and out of the words of the Bible, because again, it can be manipulated and translated. No, some of us are stronger in the spirit. We're meant, not stronger, but we're just meant for like different things. I can think of something else to say. The devil does invoke fear on you. So you should pay attention if you feel fear. But you need to realize if it's like fear of the unknown, or if it's fear like a demon is invoking fear onto you because they want you to be feared. Because if the more fear you have, the more power they have. And that's something I was raised in church to believe, and that's something that I've experienced firsthand that I know is true. I experienced from a demon trying to pull me anytime I kept trying to pull myself out of the fear. And like I kept getting, anytime I stopped being fearful, I kept getting stronger. Anytime I started to be like, oh my gosh, they kept getting stronger. You know what I'm saying? So they do use fear. But you have to realize if that spiritual presence you're feeling is making you fearful because it's something you gotten used to, or if it's the being trying to invoke fear into you. But either way, you should not be fearful. You should know God is with you. And one little cheat sheet that I can give you, that you can agree with it or not, you can like it or not, you can agree with it or not too, but God usually comes second. He comes first in your life and in your soul, and of course he's the first in the universe. But I realized with all my experiences
and especially demonic experiences, he'll let what happens happen to you to see how you're going to react, to see how much faith you're going to have, and to see whatever else he needs to see that's God. Okay, I don't know. And then he'll come right when it's the very last minute, the very last second before you're dead or before you give up. Then God will come. Sometimes he comes right after you give up. But for me, my personal experiences, I noticed that like right when I'm about to say, right when I'm about to call it quits, or right when I'm about to give up, that's when the God comes. Like when I'm experiencing some demonic stuff, like what I'm thinking about right now when I'm explaining all that is when a demon came, face body of my grandmother. Well, I don't know about face, but I just mean body of my grandmother, trying to give me the energy that he's my grandmother, right? Or I say he, maybe I say he for a reason, but that they're my grandmother. They be manipulating energy, y'all. They do manipulate energy. So that's what I'm saying. So they could even make you feel good. They can even make you feel like that, peaches and rainbows, and be a complete even evil demonic presence. Not presence, evil demonic being. Y'all just gotta have the spirit of discernment, y'all. Stay safe out here. I'm gonna pray for y'all for sure. Y'all, I have been looking for the videos that you just watched with me in the pink. I have been looking. Why is my eye pink? Oh, I woke up my eye pink. Yeah. Anyways, I've been looking for those videos for days now, bro. They just disappeared. They wasn't on my phone. They wasn't on Google Photos. They wasn't in an archive. They wasn't in no trash. They just disappeared, and I already seen them in my Google Photos. So I was like, I just recorded it. I know it ain't like I gotta scroll. Like, when I tell you some voices don't want me to get this video, they don't want y'all to know the truth. They like Safari, girl. They like Smiley, girl. You gonna change the world. We don't need no world changing. We need to stay right here. But no, we gonna change the world, y'all. I'm telling y'all need to thumbs up this video, y'all. It's a struggle. When I tell you it's a struggle and you don't see why I don't post, this is why it be a struggle for me to post. Because, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I gotta go through spiritual war to get these videos out, bro. Because how the hell it just disappeared? I never had these videos happen. I never had this happen before. With like this exact, like literally I recorded it and then it disappeared like that same exact moment. I've had lost footage before, but like that whole day just disappeared. The whole day. Subscribe, man. We on a journey, man. Okay, that's just all I want y'all to know. Back to the video.
Now my driver canceled for some reason. That I guess it might have been that call, but it wasn't nobody answering the phone. But now my driver canceled for some reason, so now my next one is coming to 15 minutes. So I'm gonna be either right on time or right late to work. But we still gonna finish this video. We're almost there. Anyways, so anytime like something like huge is happening spiritually, I have so many experiences of happened spiritually. You gotta subscribe and turn your notification bell on. I will be talking about a lot, not everything, a lot, because I'm on a journey. Just like Jesus couldn't expose everything right away. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know what I'm saying, that you got to do your research. Like, he couldn't expose his life right away and who he was right away is the same way as me. I'm not Jesus, but I feel like I should keep some things to myself. But there's a lot of things that I'm going to share with you guys. So, yes. And one day we will all see. And then I just want to make these videos because when those bigger talks and bigger things start happening, y'all can come back to these videos. Okay. Anyways, my eye itching is another sign or something, but I think this one is just an eye itch. My eye. Okay, I'm gonna have to work past my eye. Everything wanna happen to stop me today. We not stopping. We're gonna keep going, and I have to hurry up before my space runs out because I know it's coming soon because I recorded another video before this. But anyways, so anytime something big is happening with me spiritually, I'm more in my spirit than I am in my physical form. And dealing with my spirituality, I can really understand Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I know I'm not demonic, because now I'm closer to Jesus than when I was a Christian. So ain't that crazy? But anyways, so I'm usually it's hard for me to explain that into like actual words besides just like I'm in the spirit, my spirit, because it's true that your soul knows more than your conscious mind. So, because your spirit can feel and knows the spirits around you. Your physical eyes can't see the spirits around you in the battle and the spiritual warfare and all that. But anyways, and especially if you believe in multiple lives, your soul feels and knows who you were, what you did, and what gifts you have inside of you. Your physical human this form, this mind does not, until you cross paths with both of them. But anyways, or you align, connect both of them, which is what you can do spiritually. I'm working on that. It's a process. It's not something that happens quick. Okay. So I was in that process, and I believe I sat down on my couch. I remember sitting down on my couch, and then out of nowhere, everything went like I was blind. Like all I seen was white, like a bright light. I don't know if people see. I think they see a white light, or they see just darkness. I think it's darkness, but it just went like I couldn't see. With all that pressure and everything, after all that pressure and everything was happening really fast, and I was getting some of those signs where like my throat was hurting. I was getting some of those signs I was talking about before in step 2. After all that happened, it was just a bright light. I couldn't see nothing. I was looking around. I was opening my eyes, my physical eyes more. I was like, I can't see ish. And after like this whole thing went over, I googled people's third eye awakening stuff, and that's a normal thing that happens when your third eye is awakening. So I literally couldn't see nothing. It was just a huge bright white light. I couldn't see nothing. Good morning. I'm not even editing my third eye awakening video, but I just thought about it and I forgot to mention one of the most coolest parts about the third eye awakening event, and that is that when I was in that little white space, like right when I think I forgot this, right when I like was just like everything was white, and I couldn't see out of these eyes, I could feel the eye on top of my head, and I could feel it like blinking, like how you blink normally, like it wasn't like out of control, but like how you just blink normally. And I could feel like a wind going through the eye, like how I could feel like if I go like this, if you go like this, or just do one eye or whatever. Because if you go like this to your eye and you can feel like a wind, that's how I was able to feel, and that's how I knew that the eye was open. So, but that's why I was freaking out. I was like, oh, but yeah, I think that's a super cool thing now. And then once I was in that space, I could hear I was surrounded by a whole bunch of spirits that I'm pretty sure I'm around like right now. Like everybody's always around a whole bunch of spirits that we can't see, right? But I think I went somewhere. But I felt like my soul was being like pulled energetically in different directions to different groups of spirits. It's like either I could choose to go with this group of spirits, I could choose to go with this group of spirits, this group of spirits. It was like all around me. They were pulling me in front of me. It was like 3 or 4 different groups of spirits trying to like pull at my soul. And then I feel like my rope that's tethered to my body in the back of me, right? So I'm like freaking out because this is the first like huge time I've ever like left my body, because I've always been so scared to do that. anytime like something big is about to happen, I get scared. I put myself out of like whatever zone with that little spiritual thing I was telling you about, where I'm like not in my physical form as much anymore. I always pull myself out of that zone because I get scared because I don't know what's on the other side of that. Like, am I finna die, bro? Like, I don't know. And over there in that time too, I didn't know if I was gonna die or what was about to happen. So I was like, I don't know. And back then, my spirit discernment was a little bit less strong. Was a lot less strong. I'm still working on it, but it wasn't that strong. So I was like, I can tell some spirits was a heck nah, because I can tell. Excuse me. See, I wasn't even sneezing before. Anyways, I could tell some spirits was a heck nah because it was just completely dark energy coming from over there. And then there was like a familiar kind of spirits. But again, I know familiar spirits can be demons. I was raised in church, so I was like, I don't know. Again, watch a spirit realm video and I'll get more into like that familiar feeling. But anyways, so I literally I haven't been sneezing all day for weeks. And now all of a sudden I'm talking about this. I just made a video and I wasn't sneezing. And all of a sudden I got to sneeze when I'm talking about certain things. It's not a coincidence. Anyways, so let me go check on my Uber really quick. 6 minutes. Oh yes, that's perfect. I'm almost done. Don't you love when things just like work out perfectly? But anyways, so after like they were pulling on my spirit, and I freaked out because I didn't know which one to go. Some of them just felt like normal. Some of them felt like a familiar. Some of them felt demonic as hell. It's like I had all different types of people trying to pull at my spirit. And I believe this is around the time where I had a dream. I had like a vision of my past life where I was. That's kind of. It's not a lot. So, but I'm trying to hurry up and like finish this video. But I want to explain this. I had like a vision of my past life, and when I was going through, not even a vision. Okay, I had a dream, which I think it was less than a dream. Oh my gosh, my slide is about to end. Okay, I can't even get to the dream today. Y'all just gonna have to wait until another video for that. But anyway, so after they were pulling on my spirit, I got freaked out. I just put myself back in my body. I told you, your soul knows more than your conscious mind. So I don't even know how I knew to do that, but I just did that. Like I was like, I ain't choosing none of y'all, and I just put myself. And I'm at work. I don't work in the office, but it's the office. But we're closing down for the day, so I was like, I'll just finish this one here. You know, we gotta get these videos up and running. Your girl trying to be consistent. But anyways, so that was basically it. After I went back into my body, I was just shocked. Sit there for a little while, but not too long, like I did with my first time in spiritual realm. Again, you gotta look at that video. But yeah, as I went back into my body, I just sat there for a little while, and that's all I can really remember doing that day. This was like 2 years ago. So anyways, so number 4 is number 4 I have is advice for anyone who may deal with the same similar thing in the future. I'm gonna give you this advice now in case you deal with it in the future, because I can't give you this advice after you have already dealt with it, right? So the very first and main top thing that you should do is trust God, bro. If you know you've been living your life and I know you don't gotta be perfect, but if you living your life towards the Lord in all His glory, and trying to find the right path of life, then just pray. Cause usually when you pray, He'll send His angels or something. Usually, like, the energy is going to change. Don't freak out, cause that's when demons feed off that fear, and then they can like manipulate energy and all of that kind of stuff, right? Pray to God. Don't do anything. Don't go anywhere that you're not comfortable with or guided to. It feels like you're guided to go somewhere, then go there. If it feels like It's like, oh, I don't really want to go there, but I should maybe, like, let me just see what's over there. No, don't go over there. So trust God. Um, God, God got you. Remember that. You're on this path for a reason. You're watching this video for a reason. Remember, God always got you, and you got to trust in Him, and trust in yourself, and trust that He will lead you the right way. If you don't feel all a 100% in trust, don't just do whatever. Go back and see your body like I did. But yeah, that's it. Really trust intuition, and the last thing you can do is breathe, girl. Breathe. Whenever anything like super spiritual happens to me, what am I doing? I'm freaking out. Okay. Because that's crazy. Like, who actually thinks that they're going to be going through these kind of things, right? So, yeah, just breathe. Because when I learned that when you breathe, you can handle certain situations, especially spiritual craziness going on, so much better. You just have to inhale, exhale. Like, I'm like, you're having a panic attack, honey. No. I just really can't stress this enough in every video that I want you guys to really not just be open-minded, but really don't be so close-minded. Especially if you're so close-minded because you're going off of a book that has been manipulated and changed so many times to fit so many I was gonna say presidents, so many kings' agendas and so many religious agendas and groups and codes, then you really need to go into your mind, into your heart, into your soul, into your intuition, and that's where you find God. Find God here before you find God here. You know what I'm saying? In the butt. And I cannot express that enough because there's so many things that are not what people think. Like, I've Googled it because I was just trying to find like where it says in the Bible that I forgot why I was in it. But I was trying to figure out where it says where in the Bible was Jesus nailed to, because I know in some videos and movies they have it in the hands and sometimes they have it in the wrist. And there's literally nowhere in the Bible that says Jesus was nailed to the cross. They just said how people get crucified. So I'm like, so there's not even no record saying that Jesus was nailed to the cross. Google it. And that's just something, there's just so many things that we just think we know because it's just word of mouth and we just go with it instead of actually knowing. And this is stuff that people actually believe, you know what I'm saying? So if they can just get stuff like that wrong, they can get literally Jesus' name wrong, and that's Jesus, supposed to be God, or supposed to be like the highest person in the New Testament, or maybe in the Bible, period. Shoot. Then you don't think they got anything else wrong? Like, come on now. You guys have to go inside yourself. And if you just following things word for word, then it's stupid at this point. Plus, nobody in the Bible was perfect except for God Himself. So, how are you going to follow everybody before you follow yourself? I would never do that. Because John, James, Luke, Moses, nobody is going to die for me and die, like take my soul on if I go to hell. No, they're not. Are they gonna go to hell for me? No, they're not. So go by what you believe. And I believe people who don't do that, who more follow the Bible, are actually lukewarm Christians that the Bible talks about, and not the people that they think, oh, they're just somewhat sometimes godly, sometimes not. That's what most people think, like, are lukewarm Christians. Like, they do some godly stuff and some stuff they don't do, or they're halfway into their follow God and halfway out, which I think is kind of lukewarm too. But lukewarm goes even deeper than that. That's what people don't think. Nobody's trying to water down Christianity. I'm not trying to water down Christianity. General Christianity, regular Christianity as people know it nowadays, is watering down Christianity. Little do they know. I'm gonna make a video that's gonna be called "Who Are the True Christians?" or "What Are True Christians?" or something about more of my opinions on stuff like this. Again, this is exactly why you gotta subscribe, turn the notification bell, because I don't know exactly when I'm posting that video. So, because I had to like more think about it and write it out the same way I wrote this video, and then made my plans and the steps. And yeah, so that's why you gotta subscribe, turn the notification bell on. But anyways, that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it might not be like everybody's favorite video, especially because it's speaking of stuff that people is speaking of stuff that is like demonic for some people. And I just thank you for making it to the end if you made it to the end. So thank you for your support. Please watch other videos. Not all my videos are about spiritual stuff. I actually just recorded a video today about tips for people who are good people out there, so we don't get played and used, and we don't just be being too nice to people. Okay, I'm posting it the same week I'm posting this one, so if it ain't up now, it's gonna be up at the end of the week. I'm gonna put a reminder up. So yeah. So I thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys want to keep up with me, I really recommend that. I have Instagram, Snapchat. Of course, you've seen it in this video already, but I also would like you just to subscribe. After you subscribe, right next to it is a notification bell. Once you click that button, it's going to tell you if you want to put all the notifications on, and I suggest you put all the notifications on, just because it's not exactly sure. I don't have an exact schedule that is coming out every single day that week. I'm trying to get there, but I'm not all the way 100%. So that way you can see my videos, because sometimes YouTube doesn't make it like pop up. Yeah, so you can just watch my videos and support your girl. Your girl's out here trying to make it, you know what I'm saying? But all that being said, again, I do appreciate you guys. I hope that God got you. Oh, I know that God got you. I know that I got you. If you ever have any weird experiences, you can comment down below and talk to me. I do be responding to people months later, years later. I always respond to every single comment on my page. You can just watch my other videos to see that. And that's really it. Like, love you guys. Be strong. And don't fall into the trap of everything, because not everything is what it seems. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Smiley. And I'm out.